Hey guys, Happy Couple here. In today's video, we're talking about how do you make small talk, not big talk, small talk with anyone.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button right there on YouTube.
It's
you can
the
do
red
it.
one. And hit the little bell.
Ding ding. Starting with a compliment is a really good way to kind of just launch into easy conversation.
Actually, the other day we were flying through the airport and I was walking by, it was Dallas Airport, and some guy was walking this way by this woman and he like looks her up and he's like, "Yeah, girl, get it, girl," like that. And I was like, has that ever worked? Like, did that ever work? She's like, no, and she starts laughing. So I was like, maybe not that so much.
There's basically like 3 good, easy ways to give someone a compliment that doesn't come off as like creepy, forced, or not genuine. One would be to compliment something about like their energy or their personality. Like, you're always so vibrant and fun, you know, like they're gonna care about that. And it's something more personal. When you can get a little personal and not do that in a creepy way, it's really good. Another way is to compliment something about their work, because they've probably like worked to achieve that, so that's good. And then of course the non-sexual physical compliments like nice shoes, etc. That's not what to do.
Not that. Keep moving the topics along. Conversations very naturally do go not necessarily always in 100% straight line. So as you're talking, you know, somebody might think of something and you start talking about that scenario. And so be willing to let the conversation kind of go down different paths especially if you want to get to know the person a little bit better.
Another one is being present in the conversation, like actually listening to what's happening and letting it happen, like letting that conversation be natural and take those turns. Be spontaneous. Don't come in with a fixed game plan of we're gonna hit these topics and then we're gonna go. Like, if you're trying to actually have natural conversation, like be there in the conversation for real and like let it flow.
Being open and less filtered is good, especially if it's a person you don't know too well. Being too filtered could come across like, wow, this person's just being withdrawn. You know, there is a point in just being aware of what communication somebody's willing to have and not, but not trying to close off so much that you can't get the conversation going. If there's not too much to go off of, it's gonna kind of end pretty fast or never start in the first place.
And when you're like more in that, your guard's down, you're not super filtered, and you're real and open, people are gonna naturally feel more comfortable with you and they're gonna always think like, oh, this person's so fun to talk to. So of course, be respectful of like what someone might be willing to have as conversation, but also don't put up so many filters. Like just be real, be you. The next one is to ask questions that involve why. Maybe someone is telling you what job they do or something, and you could find out like, oh cool, what made you start that? Like, what got you interested in that? So now you're getting not only the typical conversation things of like, oh, I work here and I do this, but you're getting the meaning of it and really getting to know a person on a deeper level, and that will probably lead the conversation down other things, and there you go. You never run out of things to talk about.
Asking funny or hypothetical questions is a great way to go. You know, you can pose situations. It gets actually a really fun side of the conversation that doesn't happen that often. Like when you do that, it actually starts to create a unique conversation too, one that tends to be very memorable and, you know, something that person's just gonna enjoy being part of.
We had a friend, this conversation has actually been going on now for years. It was like, if he ran into a Komodo dragon, what would he do? And he was like on this rampage of that he would take it down, right? And so we started looking up the actual...
all about Komodo dragons.
And so years and years and years later, every time we see him, we still talk about Komodo dragons and it's still funny.
He was convinced he would take down a Komodo dragon. I'm like, they climb trees. He's like, yes, I know. And I climb higher, faster.
He had so much conviction, like he just might
You
be able to take
know what?
one.
I would probably put my money on him, not the like 600-pound Komodo dragon.
That's right. Laughter is always a good way to keep conversation fun, keep it flowing. If someone says something funny, laugh. If you say something funny, laugh. Obviously this is genuine laughter, right? You're not gonna force it and all of that, but also like don't try to hold back. If something's funny, laugh, because people actually like that energy.
Bringing jokes back is a great way to go, especially if you start, like let's say earlier in a conversation and you guys had something that actually got a good reaction, and then later in the conversation, you work that back in for a round 2. You can get some good further conversation from that.
It's true. Again, that goes back to the Komodo dragon. We've been bringing it back for years and it's still funny. This one, I don't know why, but I think that playful self-deprecating humor is hilarious. Like basically not putting yourself down where you are actually putting yourself down, but when you can play off of your own self and not take yourself super seriously, and you can kind of make a joke at your expense or turn something where maybe someone else was being put down and you actually take that and put it on yourself in a funny, lighthearted way where you're actually now lifting up another person. It can just be a very fun way to keep conversation interesting and also like uplift other people and not sit there being like, I'm so important.
If this video helps you at all in any way, shape, or form, or in theory could help any person ever in the entire world, give us a thumbs up. That's amazing. You guys are awesome. And don't forget to share this with anybody else you think you can help. We will see you in the next one.